And now we're up. Wow.
Yes.
I don't know why the big delay in the thing. Is it because
Pretty cool.
I'm watching the video?
That's pretty cool.
Is it coming up twice for me? Oh my days, that's just so confusing.
Oh, there we go.
And now we're up. I don't know why it's done the intro twice. The big delay in the... Anyway. That's fine, I know we're live. Oh my days. It worked.
No, you can hear me. That's fine.
Yeah, so are we good?
Yeah, this.
It's only taken 3 or 4 goes, but we made one work on YouTube, baby.
Oh god,
you're
this
right,
amazing
pal.
platform. How are we doing?
Oh, I'm recovering. I'm on the road to recovery.
It's because you've given it to me. That's why you're recovering.
Whoa. I was rough when I did that wrestling stream the other day, but like, I really needed to do a stream.
Towards the end, I watched it today, and towards the end, you were fighting like you were fighting.
You can hear the descending like
yeah.
But it was funny though. I like making my random little man.
I'm not gonna lie, like, he's abomination.
I know
He's an absolute abomination.
He's not the most abomination that he could do, but
do you remember when we were in NQ64 and we were playing Mario Party? Was it Mario Party? And the guy next to us was playing on the PlayStation. And they sat down and they made a fucking abomination.
Yeah, they had some fun with it, didn't they? I kept it quite simple. I just kind of wanted to get a guy made.
I mean, he was equally as bad.
He was cool though. He's cool, yeah.
I liked his little forklift.
I know. I forgot SmackDown had that.
They got loads of little thingy ones, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like little entrances like that.
Not trying to delve into WWF SmackDown again in this Resident Evil stream, but I did completely forget, like, you can get some weird entrances and taunts and all that stuff in the SmackDowns. And like, it's just a shame there's no previews for them, because I'd have gone through all of them and picked the best one. But when it just says forklift driver or something, I'm like, yes, I'm in.
That's the one.
Right, but we are here to talk Resident Evil again.
What?
How many games have they made?
Too many.
Whoa. I wouldn't say too many.
Too many.
Not enough.
Well, I mean, there's too many guff.
Okay, yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. Even the shite ones are actually quite entertaining sometimes.
True.
But shall we start at the beginning?
Go on then.
Retro Gak Attack, episode 16. I'm fairly sure now, because I did the video the other day.
Yeah.
So I know that was the 15th one. So episode 16. Actually, I want to know how long ago. It was actually a little while ago when we did volume 1.
Was it not like?
It was like our 9th or 10th one, but because we have gaps and stuff. Yeah. It was actually,
because
life happens, and it's a pain in the arse sometimes. But yes, because of life, December the 5th we did volume 1.
I did see Christmas, so not far off.
So December the 5th, check it out if you've not watched it. Volume 1, we talk about Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
and remake.
It's funny because we talk about everything out there. Zero as well.
We talked about all the sort of old school.
We talked about the main 3. Then we tagged on 0 at the end, and then went, oh shit, let's talk about remake for like 30 seconds, and gave it the highest score that we've ever given the game.
Remake is number 1 on the slag. So
I mean, to be fair, it's fucking awesome.
It is.
Although I did see a tweet actually. I saw a tweet yesterday or the day before, but someone's complaining that actually isn't a remaster.
I saw that. Yeah. I don't know if I replied to it.
It is 100% a remake of that whole entire game.
It's the greatest remake that's ever happened, and I don't see any other remake of a game competing with it.
No,
because
God no, this is chalk and cheese from the original to what that is.
Yeah, which is what makes it, what how it stands out from any other remake I think I've played of any game. They basically are like just a dolled up version of the original game. Whereas remake is like a completely its own entity, it's its own thing.
Yes.
That's what's magical about remake, and they improved on the original game. Because the most, obviously you got Resident Evil 4 now, which I can delve into slightly because I've played a little bit of it. But the most recent proper remake I've played is Dead Space. And it is basically just a fresh coat of paint on Dead Space. It's just the same
updated
game.
Graphics.
Yeah, it's updated graphics with Dead Space 2 controls, which is an improvement. But it is more or less Dead Space. Which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do what Remake did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. I probably responded to it because I can't help myself. Because I saw.
That's probably the reason why I saw it. It came up with the For You section. Yeah,
maybe.
I fucking hate that. That's the worst thing. That website's gone to shit.
Twitter's crap, isn't it?
It's gone to shit on it in the space of a couple of months. Fuck me.
And I can't help but still use it all the time, but it is horrendous now.
That's where I get my news from.
Yeah, same. It's the main. It is still the main source of news and stuff, isn't it? And but it's just a shame it's become shit. Right.
Elon Musk's a dick.
Elon Musk, he's a rare species, isn't he? Don't kill me, Elon. We're talking about Resident Evil, bro. Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
Came out on the Nintendo GameCube in the glorious year.
Wait there. No, it was an exclusive, and it was only to be on the GameCube.
It was.
And my God, has this game got on fucking everything?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, it's like second to Doom.
Yeah,
essentially.
But it kind of, in all fairness, it kind of needed to be on everything. It is one of the definitive sort of action survival horror games, isn't it? It is the. I know you're pulling that face. I also pull that face a little bit as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think either of us can deny the impact it had.
It did have
in the gaming world.
It did. Yeah.
It is going to be probably number one on a lot of people's Resident Evil's lists. Unfortunately, not ours. But it is a very good game. I do love Resident Evil 4. It's just it's not a patch on most of the others for me. But what are your earliest memories of Resident Evil 4?
God, so I mean that's what you say. 2001 was that?
2005.
2005.
Yeah.
Shit, bro.
Yeah, man.
I had long finished fucking school at that point. God, I remember the reviews and obviously the news and it being released and all that sort of stuff coming up.
Yep.
And I'm sure there was a demo disc that was given away in one of the magazines.
Probably.
And I think it's to the Village. If I remember, it's the first Village. And I remember playing through it, and I remember. I'm not going to say that I was impressed. I was impressed, like, with what they did, but to me, I didn't understand. It wasn't Resident Evil to me. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's where the crux of my, I'm not going to say like dislike of it, because I mean I can't deny that it is a good game, but to me, I was expecting something similar to like 3 and 2. Do you know what I mean? That you're in a city or you're in a place and you're fighting off zombies. When it was people,
Spanish
and then it goes
people.
in. Yeah, and the village people. When it's the village people, young man.
Yeah. Leon shooting a fireman.
Yeah, and the thing when it was that, and then you find out that it's like it's a was it a bacteria or it's like some sort of thing, isn't it? It's like they get injected with it.
Yeah, it's still a virus of some kind, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like they can make it like a little parasite. Yeah, that's it. And when I got to that, I kind of switched off.
Ooh.
because it wasn't the T, like, it wasn't the T virus. Do you know what I mean? It was just like it's a parasite now, and I was just like, oh, fuck off. And like, I'm not Leon's biggest fan to begin with, so it's a game with Leon, and the story wasn't thinking me. The only good thing about it was the vendor guy.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what are you buying?
Yeah.
You know,
what are you buying?
Yeah. I thought he was awesome. He was pretty good. But the story in Leon didn't hit with me, so I kind of just.
How did you take to the new controls, the new gameplay?
It took me a while.
Because it's still basically that is what they're still doing now.
Yeah.
Over 15 years later. Maths.
Because I was expecting, again, be more like 3. And this new style that's over the shoulder. It's like I wasn't used to it. And I just kind of, I wasn't used to it. Don't like it. That's it. Do you know what I mean? Yep. So when the game came out, I know my friends bought it, and I kind of sat and watched them play it. And I borrowed the game, and I got to. I want to say I got to Ashley, and I was trying to skate with her.
Yep.
The
best part of the game.
I think I just died over and over and over in the same sort of area in the thingy, and I kind of was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I'm not going to go through this all again. So I think it was at a point where I didn't have much ammo, and I was struggling to get through the bit I was at. I was like, I'm done. That's it. I've played it. I've played what I can play. I'm not going to go sit through all that again to be in the same place with better weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
So I just like, right, that's me done.
Back in the case, never to be touched again.
And that was it. And I had, so obviously they redid it on the Wii.
Yeah.
And you had the Wii mode, didn't you?
The superior version of the game.
To be fair, that actually did make it slightly better.
I had a lot of fun on the Wii.
Yeah, it was a bit more fun, but I don't think I ever got more than the village in that.
Okay.
So, it's probably it's the only Resident Evil game that I've not finished.
Ooh, well, it's a challenge for you, man.
I know.
Get it finished. I'm finishing the bloody new one. Well, I hope
I've just got no. Nothing. There's nothing that makes me want to finish it.
Okay,
that's the thing. And it's sad because, like, say, everyone loves this game, and it's the impact it's had and how it's changed the franchise. It's it was a pivotal game.
Yeah.
Because they had to do something with this game to make it different from 1, 2, and 3. They had to. But at the same time, it was too much for me. So that's my yeah. The only thing I liked about it was that midget guy and the hats. And the Napoleon hat.
I'm at the castle now in the remake, but I've not come across him. So I'm about to meet him, I think. So I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name because I've not bumped into him, and it'll kill me.
But there's some points up to it, like where you fight the ogre.
Yeah.
The first time you do that.
Oh, El Gigante.
Yeah, El Gigante, amazing, so good. Do you know what I mean? And then you get fight the bloody shark fish thing in the water on the boat. That's annoying as hell. First time around, or first couple of times around.
Del Lago.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't know.
I got you, bro. I know my knowledge.
Fine, thank you.
I've not long fought him on the remake, so.
I mean, that was good, but I mean, that was a hard battle as well. That
it's a pain.
It's overly hard. I think that beginning of the game.
I wouldn't say he's hard. I say there's certain obstacles in the lake that you just can't avoid sometimes, and it's unnecessary. And if you get knocked out the boat too often, it's harder for you to swim back into it, and then it's just instant kill. To me, it's not like a difficulty thing. It's just annoyances. There's a huge tree that even if you swerve to the left, swerve to the right, you're not going to miss it. You will hit it. and it's just a case of the QTE, that famous QTE and Resident
the
Evil 4,
QTEs, yes.
which they have
Because that's the
taken
first
out
time they brought
of
them
the
in as well,
remake.
isn't it?
Yeah, the Resident Evil
Because the
4.
QTEs weren't in many games by
No,
that point. I'm sure this was one of the first.
RE4 was one of the first. It was probably the one to popularize QTEs. Which
I
we
remember
will.
the boulder.
Well, we'll be
Indiana
talking
Jones
about QTEs in all three of these games that we're going to be discussing because they all have a QTE to Capcom.
They did actually.
Yeah, I'm obviously I'm a bigger fan of Resident Evil 4 than you are, but I am in the camp of it is an overrated game. It's a very good game, but it's not like it's not top 20, top 10 games of all time. But it is very, very good game. It's a very classy, fun game to play. I'm just trying to get a link on Twitter. I didn't play it when it came out for the simple fact that I was a bit of a pussyo. And I remember seeing the trailers and the games coming out and the game coming out. It was at that time where I was just not into horror. I wasn't into scary things. They kept me up at night, and I thought, nah, I'm good. I played the original 3, but like I was too young and stupid to realize that they're the reason I was up at night, not being able to sleep. And then because games were advancing and things were looking more realistic and scary games were actually scary, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm all right. And to be honest, back in 2005, I wasn't huge on games. It was probably a couple years later I was into games and stuff. So I didn't play Resident Evil 4 until I got it on the Wii. Yeah, so and I would probably put money on it being after I played Resident Evil 5. I think I played 5 first.
Really?
I think Resident Evil 5 was one of the first things I played where I was like, I'm going to try something horror. I'm going to play something scary and see how I feel about it. And I remember going to Bangor Game, the old game in Bangor. I walked down from college specifically to go get Resident Evil 5, and I don't know why I did it. And it was cheap. It cost me like £8 or a tenner for the PlayStation 3. I was like, I'm gonna play it. It gets good reviews. I'm gonna try it. I've not played Resident Evil for donkey's years. So I did that. Played Resident Evil 5. Loved Resident Evil 5. We'll get to that later. And then for whatever reason, I think I got the remake on the Wii because they released the remake on the Wii, obviously. And I thought I may as well get Resident Evil 4 as well. I'll give that a go. And because you have it on the Wii, you're like this. You got your Wiimote, and you got your nunchuck in your hand, and you're moving around, and you're shooting the Spanish men. It was a fun experience. It was a fun game to play. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the game. This is where I can't put it ahead of 5, spoilers, because 5 was the first one I played. Again, it's the usual. The first one you play is what you tend to think. And for other reasons, which we'll get to. But 4 is just... 5 improves on 4 in certain aspects. Not all of them. But like, graphically, it's a nice looking game. The soundtrack's better, I think.
The thing is, didn't 4 came out on the PS2?
Yes.
So it was so 5 was the next generation, essentially.
Yeah, 5 was 5 was 2000 and... Oh, please tell me here. No, I want to say it's 2008. 5. So, which would make sense 3 years later.
2008?
I think so.
I'm sure it's later than that.
Yeah?
I'm sure it is.
Good.
I think it's I'm sure it's 2010.
Oh, it could be. Resident Evil 5. 2009. So, we were in between us both. Yeah, so you're talking 4 years difference. To me, there's an obvious like improvement in terms of like the graphics and stuff and the controls, the fluidity of the movements and stuff like that. And that's the one thing that I find a little difficult with Resident Evil 4 these days. It's quite clunky sometimes. It doesn't bother me too much. It's just one of those things. If you compare it with 5, I won't mention 6. 5. 6 is its own special piece of magic.
Yeah.
But I did like a lot of the enemy designs and stuff in 4. Apart from Spanish Man, you at least got. I like the cultists in the castle. They're creepy guys. Where the
guys in the robes.
Yeah, and they just chant all the time, and they've creepied them out again in the remake. They're quite.
They're the ones with the Morning Star maces, aren't they?
Yeah, shields, Morning Stars.
Yeah.
And then as you progress through the village at the start, you get the guys that explode their heads, and they have the big plaga parasite thing. They're good. They're horrific, but like
when you first get them, you do kind of shit.
You don't see anything like that in any other game. In all fairness, Capcom know how to make a freaky, weird, ugly monster. It's something they're good at. And then when you get to the castle with the cultists, it goes from being like a sploogey spike to being like a big, don't know what you'd call it, just a big flailing mouth thing.
Lovely.
And then you've got like spider ones as well. They get like spider heads or something.
Lovely. Yeah. Glad I never went that far.
Oh, it's worth it. It's nightmare fuel. What else did you have? We've mentioned Del Lago. He's a good leak monster. El Gigante everyone knows that's quite a famous part of the game.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit overrated.
Make sure you save the dog.
Well, always save the dog, which they did bring back in the remake in a different way. But the dog's handy, but it's not necessary. But it's handy.
It's only one part though, isn't it? Never see him again, do you?
Never see him again. He does his bit and he buggers off.
Buggers off.
What else have you got? You've got the little boy, the little man boy. I still can't remember his name.
Never did. John.
John
the Baptist. Oh no, he's in Resident Evil 5.
John the Baptist. Oh yeah. Professional mode, John the Baptist. That was funny. And obviously got the main bad. You've got Sadler, Osmond Sadler, whatever he's called.
So I've read the story of the end. I have no who the fuck is Sadler? He's some army guy or something.
Oh no, you're thinking of Krauser.
Oh, Krauser.
Leon's army buddy man. Yeah, he's not a great character. He's lower tier Resident Evil characters ever. But some people bum him for some reason. I don't know why. Who else is there? What the bodies are there? But basically,
are there any flying ones?
I don't think so. You can shoot birds.
That's if you get the eggs.
No, you just get
money.
What
do you get eggs in for? You get money.
You do get eggs. Yeah, chickens lay eggs.
Shoot a pigeon.
Pigeon?
Wait there. Internet wasn't working. That steps here now. In typical Gak fashion, she's come and interrupted the.
Oh no! I've locked mine downstairs. She's not allowed out until I'm done, and she has to watch the stream at full volume.
Repeat.
Proper torture. So yeah, Resident Evil 4 is a very good game with some very good enemies.
It is a good game, and it's a beautiful game at the time, and the people that you fight, the enemies are good, and the combat is good. It's just.
It's not as good as people make it out to be. That's all. It's very good. That's
the issue I have. I really have that issue. I'm not sorry.
I know if certain people heard us sort of. We're not bad mouthing it. We're just not bumming it. That's the thing. But certain people will be like, what do you guys think you're talking about? It's the greatest game to ever game of all time.
But it's not. No.
It's not. It's okay. It's not okay. It's very good. But like, yeah, it's hard to get that point across properly. But do you want to?
That's the thing, isn't it? It just kind of it just hits the mark, but like just barely.
Yeah, I'd say when,
you know what I mean?
In 2005 when it came out, yes, this was probably the dog's bollocks of its type of game.
Yeah. Yeah.
They wanted to make Resident Evil more actiony. They tried it with 3, and it was fairly actiony, but like they still kept the horror elements of it. Whereas with 4, they sort of delved further into the action, and there was less horror.
Mm-hmm. There was.
But that's what a lot of us want, is we want the horror. And even though it still has it in certain aspects, enemies, I will give it massive props because it just came to me now. The regenerators. I think I mentioned them. When did we talk about? Didn't we talk about like the scariest enemies ever? Crimson Heads.
That's probably the last Resident Evil video, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did talk about, Crimson Heads are the best enemies ever. But
they do.
The regenerators in Resident Evil 4 are second to the Crimson Heads.
I'm gonna
get a YouTube video up so you can listen to the regenerators. That's why they're frightening. They go when they're chasing you down. It's frightening. That's the bit I'm looking forward to in the remake.
God, yes, the white things.
Yeah, they're just
yes.
Yeah, they've got loads of teeth. They're naked and they just sort of like stalk you, and they've got that horrible.
You need the scope breathing, to see through them, to see the thing scope inside them, and you shoot them. Yeah.
Which is fine. It kind of it emphasizes how difficult they are to kill. But they're, I'll give them big props for them because they're like iconic, proper scary enemies. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they've done with them in the remake. I feel like I thought of someone else earlier, but I still can't remember the midget man's name. But anyway,
I mean, I feel bad that we're how long ago are we now? Like 20 minutes or whatever, and we've not really.
I think we should move on to 5 because we can always.
There's nothing else left that we can really say.
Well, I want to make comparisons. That's the main thing with 5 because 5 is basically 4, but it's in Africa.
Right. Well.
And it's just slightly improved.
Okay. Ooh. So to me, 5 is a love letter to 80s action films.
Mm. Oh yeah, you get the big vibes. Yeah, you get the big vibes.
Yeah, throughout the whole film. Yeah, I mean, look at fucking Buff Chris.
It was a bit of a random change, that wasn't it? Like you can see if I can be asked doing it. If I edit the video, you got remake Chris, who's quite like just average Joe looking guy.
Average guy, slim, And then
RE5, he's been on the roids.
Fucking ultimate warrior.
Yeah.
Just fucking.
And he's big, burly, handsome bloke, isn't he? Mm-hmm. Exactly, kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Stallone. They're big, burly, handsome blokes, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think. That's probably why me and you like 5.
Yeah, probably we're gay for those sort of 80s action
we
films.
are. Yeah, the camp 80s action films are like right up our street. And 5 is Resident Evil 80s action film.
Yeah, and it's phenomenal. It is an amazing game. And like we're gonna get pelters for what we're about to say about 5. When we've been saying like 4 is very good, but it's like that's about it. It's very good. 5
It's something else, isn't it?
How can you not love 5? It's the
I know,
best.
but I understand why people hate it. It's
Oh,
like,
it's
oh my
cheesy.
god,
It's
oh
cheesy.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, it is. It
the
is.
the final boss fight is in a volcano. It's you fly over a volcano and you crash into it, and you have a 2v1 battle with infected Wesker.
Oh, that's so good.
It is
Choke on this
phenomenal.
Wesker.
Yeah, it is
I mean, that's about as
phenomenal.
easy as it fucking comes. Like, what right is at the end with a fucking rocket launcher?
Suck on this, Wesker. Right, let's go to the start. Let's go to the start.
Yeah, okay,
So
okay.
2009, this game came out.
Yeah, yeah.
When did we go to college? Was it 2011 or 2012?
11. Yeah.
So I probably played this 2010 then. I played this the year before I met you in college.
Mm.
So not straight away, but it was just a little bit after.
Mm.
So it was still fairly fresh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the DLC hadn't come out. It wasn't far after the DLC came out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Resident Evil 5 better than Resident Evil 4 then, Nick?
Well, I mean, we literally just lambasted right there.
Yeah.
It's just, I think when they were designing, they got quite a lot of backlash for this, didn't they? When it first came out.
Well,
with the inclusion of...
Before you go into it, I remember the teaser trailer coming out.
Mm-hmm.
There was... I think it was like, you know, when you got the old demo discs on PlayStation and that.
Yeah.
I think when the PS3 came out, I remember us getting... It was either like it was the first time you could download demos or something. So it might have been that. So like, I remember we connected the internet to the PlayStation, and then they had, you know, upcoming games, download the trailers, and then Resident Evil 5 was there. So I was like, oh, I'll see what Resident Evil looks like now. You click on it. From what I remember, there was like no context. It's just a big white dude walking through Africa shooting black men. Yeah. That was it. And they were like, they were crazy black men, obviously, because they were infected. But they don't make that clear in the trailer. So it was just a big buff white man shooting all these black people. And they did cop it for it, rightfully so. Maybe they should have just put a little bit of, you know...
Yeah.
A bit of information.
Demo took you to the first, was it Agitator?
Yeah.
And it takes you through to them, and you're just in that first area where you're just literally running around in a fucking square, like just shooting them for like 5 minutes. Yeah. I mean, it was. They didn't think about that, did they?
It's a fun part of the game.
Oh, it's a bloody good part of the game, and bloody, you know, your first time through, like it's quite scary. Like you get overwhelmed quite easily sometimes.
Yeah.
But they never thought it through. So but I mean, once it all, you know, it died down, you know, and then people started complaining that, you know, he had a partner in Sheva, and like, oh my god, how can a woman survive? Got me pop off. Shut up, it's just a game. Jesus Christ.
That's what people need to realise at the end of the day. It's a video game.
I know. But, and you know, and the story isn't... You don't need to play 4 to understand the story.
No, it's its own.
It kind of helps because it's the same sort of thing, isn't it? It's the same parrot. It's like it's a parasite on the same sort of level, sort of thing.
The main I want to just get into this quickly because I know anyone that would watch this is going to be the first thing they point out. Resident Evil 5 basically just copies a lot of what 4 did.
Yeah.
But it was on the PS3.
Yeah.
Or Xbox 360, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Which to me was cheap. It was a bit lazy. You had the exact same sequence at the start. The village, and then the square in Africa. Exactly the same. Yep. You have the El Gigante, you got the other African Gigante.
Oh, they're all, I think it's still called El Gigante as well, isn't it?
Probably. It's just it's exactly the same.
You've got the chainsaw man in both of them.
The chainsaw things just
like,
the same thing.
Was it the guy in thing? He's got like is it a pay sack or whatever?
Yeah.
And the one in 5, it's just a rag.
Yeah.
Just a cloth rag over his face.
Yeah. We understand there is all those things that they basically just copied 4. They were like, what worked in 4? The Chainsaw Man. Yeah. Let's bring another one in.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it doesn't ruin the game for me. It doesn't drop the score at all. It's part of the game. Maybe they could have been a little bit more ambitious with certain things, which Capcom normally are quite good at doing. They'll normally try things, whereas they didn't really with 5.
But I mean, they put in like vehicle sequences and stuff like that, didn't they?
Yeah, they're not great.
No, I know, but they tried.
they at least did that.
They did do stuff. I mean, in the back of the Humvee where you shoot him with the bloody turrets and you're getting chased on motorbikes.
That bit on Professional is stupidly hard. It is really annoying. They are the worst parts of the game. They are the worst parts of the game.
Yeah, of course.
The fact that there's so many of those African men with motorbikes and an unlimited supply of Molotov cocktails to throw at you. And
they're just fucking, let's go, boys!
Yeah.
We'll hit them eventually.
And, the fight with the giant where instead of running around, like Leon did the smart thing in 4 and was mobile. Yeah. These 2 clever clogs in 5 just jump in a van and just start shooting it. And again, there's
miniguns on this man, they'll all get us.
Yeah. And it's a really annoying boss fight, I think, especially when you do it on Professional. We had a whale of a time doing that on Professional, because one little slip up and you're dead meat.
You're done.
You've got to be perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does basically copy a lot of what 4 does, but the story is its own story, isn't it? It's the Resident Evil 5 story. It's nothing. It's nothing special.
No, if you've got what's the name?
Excella Gioni.
Oh yeah, Excella big boobs.
Yeah,
selling the parasite in Africa, and you had your guy.
Irving.
Irving, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Irving. He was. What the fuck was he? He was nothing really in the story, was he? He was just there.
I think he was just like a dealer.
Was he like the dealer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Fucking stupid. And then you get the thing becomes loose, and it's like we called it the period monster because it was that big. Blob, blood clotty blob monster thing.
Ouroboros.
Ouroboros. And he's even infecting people and turning them into fucking zombies.
It actually still looks really good if you play RE5 again. Like the sploogey Ouroboros infected one. It looks really good. It still looks good, to be fair. So I'll give them that. Like graphically,
and essentially you're just chasing that and those 2 through the game.
Yeah,
is essentially what it is, and you're coming up against infected. Was it God? That's not the giant scorpion. What were the animals that you fought? Oh, the bat. Was that the big bat thing, like the moth bat thing?
The one in the truck.
Yeah,
he's got like a big like millipede body and bat wings and a bat.
Yeah.
I can't remember
and then
name.
obviously you've got the fucking thing in the river as well, where you're on the big boat.
They've all got funny names in Resident Evil 5. I think they've all got like African sounding names, haven't they? I think.
But I mean, where the fuck did they come from? Do you know what I mean? It's
Ouroboros.
Ouroboros. And then you've got to fight stupid animals, and then you find out that Excella Big Boobs is on a boat.
Yeah.
And you sneak onto the boat and fucking destroy it. It turns into some big giant fucking tentacle hentai fucking thing, spunking out little miniature bloody little mini Ouroboros.
Yeah.
And you've got that bloody the big giant laser. You're
the
satellite
cool.
laser. You're on a fucking boat. You were on a boat and you're fucking firing some satellite laser.
It only hits the Ouroboros. It's fine. That's how it works.
80s action film all over again.
Yeah, it's just logic.
it's just daft, and that's what makes it so good. Is it's just over the top.
Yeah,
And it's just the story's fine, but it's a fine story, and it takes you through. But every sequence is just over the top.
yeah. At
You
the
know,
end of the day, I don't play Resident Evil 5 for the story, so
no, you just play because it's a good handling game.
it's a fun
It
game.
really is.
And the main thing about that game is the co-op.
Yes.
I thought I was gonna absolutely hate the co-op thing to it. And on your own it's not amazing. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is.
It's playable. It's
It's
serviceable. You just
playable.
go through and just do it. Yeah.
The computer controlled partner tends to be they're fairly accurate. They'll do
They're
what
fine.
you need them to do.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not always the smartest thing in the world, but it's a computer. So
hmm
don't expect it to be like
Yeah.
another player
If
character.
if you get the shotgun and you give it the pistol and all the pistol ammo,
Yeah.
they'll have it, but they'll not be as effective. You kind of have to bear that in mind. That tell you what, you get the shotgun because when you shoot zombies, you know what I mean. You'll probably take a couple of rounds.
Yeah.
I'll keep the pistol till I get the machine gun,
Yeah.
and you have to be smart playing it a little bit.
Well, the easiest thing I find the easiest thing to do is if you're Chris Buffman Muscles, if you're playing as him, you give Sheva the bow and arrow when you unlock that after chapter 1 or 2. Just get the bow and arrow. It's infinite ammo, and it's one of the most powerful guns in the game. One of the most powerful weapons in the game. And she's always fairly accurate with it. Or the sniper. Give her a sniper.
She's good with the sniper.
When you're in the swamps and she's sniping people from 3 mile away, it trivialized because I can't do that. If you or I were playing and you were driving the boat, I'm not going to hit someone from 3 mile away with a sniper. The computer just...
they bloody put us driving through the swamps and the pipe sequence. Oh god!
I didn't mind the swamp sequence. The swamps and that was fine. Riding the boat.
That was on the we were playing it and you threw the grenade and the guy jumped and the grenade went off when he fucking.
Yeah, it was great. Got the action shot in it.
Oh, it was so good. Oh fuck.
I think another thing that works in Five's favor is they bring back the better characters from the series as well. Even though I remember the first time playing it, and I think I say it in the videos, when Jill was revealed, it was like, who are you?
Who the fuck are you? What?
And the whole moment is like, oosh, it's Jill. And I was sat there going, who? And then Chris goes, Jill? Like,
It's not Jill.
Should have gone Specsavers, pal. That's not Jill. She's not blonde with long ponytail.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got Jill, you got Chris, you got Wesky. I think they're the only returning characters, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Whereas 4 had Leon and Ada, who were okay. They seem to be like for whatever reason, the
interest.
the ones that everyone likes. I don't know why. They gave Leon this hair, which annoys me. That he has to always flick up.
Nice.
It's like that's what
the proper fucking haircut.
The heartthrobs have. Heartthrobs always have hair
Leon
like
is the total. Yeah, Leon is the heartthrob, and Chris is the fucking 80s action man.
Yeah, and like I prefer Chris. Chris is just a cooler bloke. Yeah. But then they ruined him in 6. We'll get there soon. I like original Leon. Like, since we're on the subject, I didn't mind original Leon in RE2. He's fine. He's a bit gimpy in 4. He's better in 6. And then in 2 and 4 remake, he's improved slightly again. But he's still I can't. He's not.
I don't have any sort of thingy to live.
Yeah,
I really don't.
He's not Jill. He's not Claire. He's not Chris. He's not Wesker. There's so many other better characters on him in the series. So, but he's
I think
fine.
it's just Capcom just like push him in every chance they get, don't they?
Yeah, because he's a heartthrob. That's what he's supposed to be, and it works for some people, not for me. Not that I want him to be my heartthrob, but that's what I got you for, bro.
Oh, stop it! No, on a set me on. What? Oh
Now,
god.
now.
I know. And
Um,
I do agree with you that the co-op does make it 110% makes that game.
well, we get to play the game together, don't we?
We did.
We can't
We
play
did.
four together. It would be
Oh,
fun. It would improve the game.
and to be honest, actually, if there was a chance that we could get on the
Well,
co-op on
yeah, it would be
four,
fun.
then
That.
yeah, we play it together. We actually might enjoy it.
Why
Yeah.
why could they not do like? It doesn't have to be like completely follow the story, but just have player two be like Ada or someone like that, or Louis Serra, whatever he's called, the Spanish fella in it.
Spanish guy, yeah, with his
Let
little fucking World War II pistol thing.
Yeah, hey, that's best gun in the game. That Red 9,
Is it?
awesome.
Fuck
Yeah,
hell.
it's hell of a gun.
Listen.
That's what I'm using. But I don't see why they couldn't just implement that into it, even if it was in one of the remasters.
I suppose the GameCube and the PlayStation 2 probably couldn't handle it.
No, but that's what I'm saying in the remaster. Not
In the
not
remaster,
necessarily
couldn't,
this
yeah.
one, which they obviously could have this one, but when
They could have probably redone it on the PS3.
yeah, when they re-released it for the modern consoles, why could they not have added co-op mode? I mean, they did
Yeah.
they did the VR thing last year. That tickled me earlier. They released Resident Evil 4, the original one, on a VR headset. Was it MetaQuest or something? Last year, and they've remade 4. So they're completely like, what's the point in getting that VR version of
The
the old
one,
game
yeah.
now when the brand new game is out, rebuilt from the ground up? I don't know.
Madness.
It's all about money.
Yeah, true.
Before we talk about Resident Evil 5's DLC and stuff, which is like a good part of the game, let's talk about the boulder. The highlight of the game.
When I got to that bit and he's like pressing the buttons and I'm like, what the fuck's he gonna do against the boulder? And he starts fucking punching it. I'm like, holy fuck. Do you know what I mean? You've just gone through this whole sequence with Wesker where you're trying to inject him with the fucking antidote.
Yeah.
To fucking, was it antidote? I can't remember. Was it injected with the Ouroboros? I can't
No,
remember.
it's the virus. It's overdosing
he's already
him. It's
infected,
overdosing
isn't
him
he?
on the virus.
Yeah.
He has to take it at certain times after a certain amount of time. But like if you overdose him,
Yeah. So you're injecting with that, and he's going fucking crazy, and his eyes go all red, and everything like that, and you're just like, oh my god, and fighting in a plane, and you fucking shoot him out of the plane, and you have that dramatic moment where you save Sheva, or in your case, you let me to die.
That was funny.
And,
That. It still puzzles me to this day because I pressed those buttons and it just
you could hear the click.
it could not be asked doing it for me. I was just sitting there thinking it's taking a bit longer to actually go in now to
register
to actually save Sheva. And there's you are dead.
It's just a
all right then. So yeah, that happens. Don't save Sheva. It's entertaining.
So you do all that, and the plane that you're in crashes, and you're like, fucking, you come out and you're like, we're in a volcano. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, how awesome.
I know. And then you start battling, and as you do, does he like hit her or something, and she flies off onto the other side, and then you're running, and it's like a dead end, and he's going towards you, and you've got to run to that boulder.
Yeah.
See, the first couple of times, I'm like, where the fuck do I go? Because I know I can't move the boulder. That in my head, it's like I can't move the boulder. So where am I going? And then it just like ding ding when I press the L1 or whatever, and it shows you where to go. And I run to the boulder, and it's like fucking QTE sequence. And I was like, it's just like pushing it and punching it, and pushes this boulder into the fucking lava and the volcano to run around.
Yeah.
And you're just like, mate, that is pinnacle.
Yeah, it's arguably the greatest QTE sequence ever made in any game.
Yes,
there's nothing that comes close.
It's so unbelievably bad.
You can't fail. You can't fail that QTE sequence. It's just a case of deciding when you want to batter that rock to create a path.
You can take your sweet ass time, and you can fail it by not getting to thingy in time.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no way that you can actually fail it where you kill yourself.
Yeah.
But it's still, I was just,
But anyone that complains about that sequence just needs to get a life, because it's the entire game is, like you say, it's an old school action film,
It is.
and this is the sort of stuff that you would get in it, over the top, daft things,
Yes.
like
Yes.
a big buff man punching a boulder until it's set perfectly in place in the lava, so someone can cross it. That's what happens in these things.
That is, and that's why it is. It is better. It's way better than 4. Just for the whole daftness of the 80s action hero.
The cheesiness of it works.
Yeah.
For us, it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
You either get it or you don't. I think that's basically what it is with 5.
It's a Marmite, isn't it?
Yeah.
You love it or you hate it.
To be fair, the general consensus with 5, it's a very well received game. I think you check out on the internet, it gets 8, 9 out of 10, quite across the board. The game it's a solid game.
Yeah.
The story's questionable, and it basically just copy and pastes 4 in certain areas, but it doesn't affect the game negatively for me. It's just
no. I find the whole Africa sort of like location far more interesting than the Resident Evil 4 one, because I just found that to be grey.
It is very grey.
Whenever it's supposed to be, everything's grey.
Yeah,
it's a grey game. You know, it's just no. Whereas Africa, it's like you've got beautiful, you know, sunsets that you're driving through in the car and stuff like that, and there's colour and there's quite
a light game in the most part as well. It's a lot of it is played during the daytime, which is weird for a horror game.
Yeah, that's it. You're outside in the day, you know what I mean, and you go into some caves, yes, you know, and the whole co-op thing with the torch through the caves bit. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You know, you go down into the underground, and you've got that sort of like Mayan fucking civilization.
Oh my god, yeah. This is the best game ever, man.
And you're going through like this whole Mayan civilization.
What score did we give Remake?
Oh, 9.5.
9.5.
Yeah.
Gotta give this a bigger score, man. Resident Evil 5. Oh, funny.
But I mean, so it's like, and just the locations are like gorgeous. And it's like in 4, you've got grey outside, you've got grey caverns.
It is, yeah.
And
it's quite a, I don't want to say
dull and dark and boring.
It's just, you've got the village, which, like you say, it's you know, little stone huts, stone houses in a gloomy sort of setting, and then you move on to the castle, which is more grey, but it's like you're inside more, and it's more stone, and it's still grey.
Well, at least you've got candlelight.
Yeah, and then the castle's quite a big part of the game. You go down, you fight that monster guy. That's actually quite a cool fight.
Is that the guy with the blades on his arm or something?
Yeah, he can like instant kill you, I think. The little guy's sort of right hand man. I can't remember his name. Ooh, I do want to mention the big guys in 4 that are like, they've got like the eyes shut, and they sort of listen to what you do, and they chase you based on your sound. I can't remember. Garador or something like that they're called. Gyarados. They've got like Wolverine claws. They're quite good. I quite like them. They didn't really do anything similar to them in 5, did they? There was no sound monsters in 5, was there? Well, they brought Lickers back, didn't they? Lickers
Lickers back. Which is pretty cool as well. That whole facility bit was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Those fucking bugs.
The
bugs. Jesus.
What are they called again?
Fucking unbelievable. See, unprofessional trying to get them.
If they popped up, because I think there were certain pods, what do you call them, cocoons. I think there were certain cocoons that were like, it was random chance.
They would always open. They would always come out of it. Yeah.
And in professional, you're screwed, aren't you, if they show up? Because I think if they grab you, it's instant death. I don't think you can escape them.
No, you can't. Yeah.
So
you've got to hit them enough to the chest explodes to get the little white sack.
Yeah, pound the sack.
God, hit them in the sack.
Yeah, but again, it's Capcom just do good enemies, don't they? In all fairness to them, there's the few dud enemies, but like majority of them, they are good. Even the annoying ones, it's not like a negative thing that they're annoying. It's get good, get good at killing them. Figure out the strategy to kill them.
Find out, yeah.
I do like what they did introduce in 4, and then obviously it's pretty much been used in all of them since. Is the sort of melee system.
Yes.
Where like basically you pop them in the knee or something, they go down, and then you can uppercut them.
And you stun them, and then you can attack them. Yeah.
So I do like that aspect of 4, and again, I think, would you say they improved it in 5? I think they made it a lot easier to kill people.
They did, but I think you had to, for it to be effective, you had to have the combo.
The combo
between
works,
the two of them.
But
yeah. Because there's things unprofessional that we only got through, and that's because having to do that combo. You know, because you did the punch, I did the kick, and then you did the haymaker. Or something. Yeah, yeah,
it's amazing.
And Shevers was like, was it a suplex or something, or a takedown or something? I
don't remember.
Or a flip kick or something.
Could have been.
Something like that.
Yeah, something rings a bell.
Kick or something.
Yeah, with the big, you had the big blokes, didn't you? The big black fellas with the titties out. You'd have to do the combos. It was always satisfying though if you know, one of you hit and then the next one comes in and then the next one for the finisher. Yeah. That was the instant kill for those guys. Yeah. But I think they made it too easy with Chris, especially, to instant kill any enemy.
He's big buff strong guy, isn't he? That's it.
He had the neck breaker.
Yes.
It just killed them all. You pop him in the knee, you run behind him, neck breaker. Yeah. Whereas Leon didn't have like an instant kill, he just had an attack. So for whatever reason, it becomes a suplex from the castle onwards. Don't know why. It's quite cool, but it was never.
They obviously had like WrestleMania 3 or something on the TV in front of the castle.
Yeah. You always had you had to keep pointing at the sign like they do.
Everyone's like, "What's he pointing at?"
Yeah, flinging morning stars at him. So basically Resident Evil 5 is phenomenal. I've seen we've done this for an hour now and we're only 2 of the 3 games, so we do need to move on.
Well, to be honest, I mean, the DLC for 5, the one part, the first one didn't really, it was fine. Yeah, the guys with the had the thingies over, they had no eyes, didn't they? And they had the big fucking anchor things. And it was alright, but overall, I don't think it added that much to the story because it was just literally
it was just how Jill vanished.
How Jill got caught. The only good thing that really came out of that, if I'm honest, is your Goldberg.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
My video editing skills.
Yeah, the Goldberg thing is that's what makes that DLC. And unfortunately, it's not.
It was.
Although it was a good nod that you could do the
fixed camera,
change the camera angle. Yeah,
it made it impossible though. We do have video proof of us trying it. It does not work with that video game, but that's where I feel like it was a bit of a missed opportunity because like it started off when you play it. The first time playing it, it's like, oh, this is old school Resident Evil, but like with the over the shoulder camera and like sort of going through the doors early on, and it's like it's eerie, it's quiet, there's nothing going on, there's dead bodies. It's quite good at that point, but then by the end of it, you realize the only enemies in the game in that DLC are those big anchormen and Wesker.
Yeah,
and it's just I don't get why they did that.
No.
I mean, the staple of Resident Evil these days is the big stalker and then just zombies. Why didn't they do that? Why didn't they have one anchor guy stalking you and then you still got zombos to shoot along the way.
Yeah.
That would have been a better bit of content for us to play.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know that what they were trying to do is to the whole, backstory to how Jill got caught and whatever. But I mean, you didn't need it. You didn't need it to enhance the main game. You really didn't.
No, and the thing is, I feel like it came out quite a bit after the game. If Resident Evil 5 came out 2009, I definitely didn't play it till 2010, and then the DLC didn't come out until after I played
2011.
So you're definitely talking a year and a half, 2 years after the game came out.
Well, I never got them until we started playing. And we finished the main game, and they were like, "Oh, we should do the DLC." And I was like, "Right, cool, we'll get it."
Yeah.
But I never bought it beforehand.
Just trying to find it now, because
and then we go into Desperate Nightmares.
Desperate Escape.
Desperate Escape. Oh my days!
That is, it's a better DLC.
It is
because it's what the game's made for. It's just hordes of crazy Spanish men, kill them all, get to the end.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yes, very overwhelming at times.
Yeah,
and on professional mode, I mean, we did it. How many times have we done it? Probably twice. 3 times maybe.
Mode.
Yeah. 2 or 3 times.
I thought we only finished it the once.
No, we didn't. We've done it twice. At least twice.
Have we?
Yeah, because you lost your voice second time. Oh no, did we not though?
Well, that's why.
Oh, maybe we got to the end.
We definitely got to the. I think we got to the end once, and we either couldn't do it or like. You or I had to leave, so we couldn't finish
maybe.
It off. But then I don't think we were like recording at that time. I think that was just you and me just having a bit of fun, and we were trying to finish it. But then when we recorded it, it was like, we have to finish it now.
We have to finish it, and you'd lost your voice.
I'd completely lost my voice because of
shouting.
Yeah. I think it was when we just played. Did we do them both? We must have done them both on professional, mustn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did both on professional.
I think we did we did Lost in Nightmares, and then we did Lost in Nightmares professional, and then we did Desperate Escape, which is tough enough on its own. So I probably got so excited and like I lost my voice because of that. Yeah. And it was then we had to do professional, and I sounded like my balls hadn't dropped yet.
It's all the Arnie impressions that we were doing, though, the two of us. That's all we ever did when we were playing it.
It was the best, wasn't it?
Arnie impressions.
It was the best.
That's literally for like 8 hours. The two of us.
I'll have to link the video on here. I'll link the best of videos.
Yeah. And then we had Brad in the helicopter, and he was the worst stupid pilot ever.
Oh yeah, Josh Stone's mate.
I'm a pilot of this helicopter, but I'll just run out and attack the zombies whilst you guys get in.
It was Doug, wasn't it?
Oh, Doug, that's a
Doug, the worst pilot in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's it.
That was much better DLC. It was. I liked what they tried to do with the first one. It was fine. I still enjoy it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's enjoyable, but it didn't really make anything to the story. It didn't really make no difference. And what's it? The second one, again, it doesn't really add anything to the story.
It just shows you where Jill and Josh go. That's all.
Josh go. That is literally it. Yeah. After the Wesker fight, that's what they do, and that's it. Yeah.
But that's much better.
No. And we'll spend the next 5 minutes talking about Resident Evil 6. I'm not going to lie.
Good night, all. Bye-bye. Six is terrible.
After 5, I was like... And I'd seen it, and I'd seen that it was co-op again. And I had such high hopes. And they promoted it now. It's the tie-in of all the culmination of all the 5 games before it.
It should have been, and should still to this day be the best Resident Evil game.
Oh, yeah.
It's rock bottom. It's the worst.
It's the worst. I know. And it's... see, So 5 is 80s action. 6
It's
is
the terrible sequel.
it's the terrible. Or I'm gonna say like Steven Seagal 90s action films
Do you
that
want?
go straight to VHS.
I
Do you
think
know what I mean?
I was watching. I want to do this at some point somehow. You know, like a
Yeah,
goggle box thing, but
yeah,
watching like B C movie sort of. I want to see the cream of the crop of trash, and I want to record myself or like
yeah,
me and others
yeah,
watching this, and so we can comment
yeah,
on it.
yeah.
I was watching blokes who do Steven Seagal movies. And I don't know how they do it, but they show footage of the film
Mm,
on fucking terrible.
yeah,
Terrible.
yeah,
There's one where
yeah.
he's like a sniper or something, and the fat git doesn't move in any scene. Like, you've got all these other co-stars that are doing all the action stuff, and Seagal's just sort of sat there for the duration of the film, and he's the big star in it.
Oh god, but that is Resident Evil
That's Resident Evil
6.
6, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's just
such a
it's
missed opportunity.
yeah. They wanted, and you could see that they wanted to knock this out of the park, but I think they just reached too far,
The
and they just missed it 100%, missed it completely.
Where 4 and 5 work is they were delving into the action more. They do it more and more. 4 was a lot of action. 5 was even more action.
Full
6
action.
6 is just too much. Where the the gameplay is pretty much the same,
Yeah,
but they made the character more free moving, where you could. 4 and 5 was if you press forward, you go forward. It was still kind of tank control-y in a way.
yeah, you had your left and right. You still
turned
turned.
on the spot.
Yeah,
Whereas 6 was the first one where if you pushed left on the
yeah,
analog stick, you would move in that direction and face
yeah,
that direction.
yeah.
I found that weird for starters.
Mhm.
They had a stamina system because they put a bit more focus on the melee.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible.
No, you couldn't just spam melee attacks. You had to wait for it to reach.
And it's stupid. There was a sprint. There's a sprint mechanic where you can sprint and do like shoulder tackles or something, and that takes up a chunk of your stamina. Yeah, your herbs, Tic Tacs now. I remember that.
Yeah.
Shite. It was just not like when you shoot zombies and that, the zombies didn't always react to it, and it was just. I know sometimes 4 and 5 can be clunky like that, where you'll shoot someone in the face.
So it shouldn't be on 6. It should have been refined. So much better on 6.
It just didn't work. 6 didn't work for me at all. It is a terrible Resident Evil game.
I think where the main crux for me is you've got 3 different campaigns, and they all interlink at some point. Is it 4?
You got the Ada one when you do all.
Oh, I don't class that. I don't class that. That's just a glorified action sequence with her, though, isn't it?
It's the one that I don't think I've ever finished, and I think it's supposed to be the best one.
I think Ada's one is. I think Ada's one is because there's no muscle fuss. It's literally you are just here, and you are just taking down enemies.
And
yeah,
the final boss is like one of the Ada clones or something, and it actually looks like a really good final boss. To be fair to him, but it was just to get to that point, you have got to slog in that game. There are some terrible bits in that game.
The Leon's campaign
is good.
They went. You think it's good?
I think Leon's campaign is quite good.
I think it's boring as fuck.
I think it's fine.
See, the start of it, where you're at that university, and the president dies and turns in again. You've got to kill him and that. That bit's all great inside it because it's spooky and it's quite eerie. And you're like, oh, this is it. And then you get outside.
Yep. Oh, it's terrible. I get that. Yeah.
That it literally drops.
Yeah.
You know, and you've got to make your way through the city, and you're in a car, and you end up at some old haunted bloody house thing again.
I don't mind the subway sequence. That was quite good.
Yeah. And then you find, what's her name? Thingy Boo, what's it, Boobies?
Deborah Boobies.
Yeah.
What's her name's sister?
It's thingies. It's your partner's sister and all this. It didn't need to be so convoluted. I can't remember her name. Well, gosh, it didn't need to be so convoluted. It
wasn't great.
No.
But that's why I with Leon, it was the only one where they sort of attempted a bit of horror. And like you say, that early bit in the school...
That first bit, that university bit, is really good.
It's good, but it's like, that is the only good part of the whole video game. The rest of it is fucking terrible. And I don't want to be swearing, man. It is terrible.
You get to Chris, and it's like, right, 5 work for Chris, we'll just do the same on steroids.
Yeah.
And it's literally run and gun, hide behind walls, run and gun.
Oh, they introduced the cover system, didn't they?
Yeah, and that's all I felt I ever did was hide behind the wall and take pop shots. And I'm sure they had one of the bag. Did not have like drones or something or robots or something that you could shoot. And I can't really remember. He had that other. His recruit guy that was with him was boring.
Piers Nivens or something like that. I didn't mind. Chris's story is crap. It is proper crap. The final boss is okay. The final sequence is fine, but getting up to it's trash. It's rubbish. It's boring. It's too much action, and it just doesn't. It doesn't work. Like you can't really have such thing as too much action in a Resident Evil game. I think you can, but it's just. I don't know. It's not what I want out of my Resident Evil game. I don't want to be starting with Chris Redfield with an assault rifle and 90 bullets to have fun with to shoot these people. But I didn't mind the enemies in it were quite creepy. I can't remember what they were called. They have like loads of eyes, don't they? And then you'd shoot the arm off, and then they'd like regenerate an even buffer arm or something. So I didn't mind that. Yeah, that was quite good. That was quite innovative. But then the rest is just nothing comes from it. And then you get
the whole sequence where they're fighting through the roofs. They're on the roofs of the buildings, and
it's just rubbish. It's like they. What's his name? What's his name who did Transformers? It's like they got him.
Wahlberg?
No, not Marky Mark.
Oh, Michael Bay.
It's like they got Michael Bay to make a Resident Evil game, wasn't it? That's what Resident Evil 6 is to me. Yeah. Resident Evil 6 is they hired Michael Bay to do Resident Evil, and it's fucking terrible. It's trash.
Yeah.
But like, the very start of Leon is fine. The spooky bit, and then when the spooky bit is done, it's shit. So barely even a quarter of Leon's campaign is good.
I'd say it's a fifth, maybe a sixth. Because it feels. See, when you go down in them caverns with him, it feels like he drags.
The second you roam through the university a bit, and you find a guy who's missing his daughter, and then you find the daughter who's obviously infected, and then you take her to a lift, and then in the lift shit goes down because obviously stuff happens in the most claustrophobic area.
Yep.
From that point onwards, then it becomes meh. Chris from the start is meh all the way through until the very end when his partner gets infected and you don't remember his partner gets infected.
Does he?
And you're fighting a huge water monster. Do you remember the big water monster?
No.
We need to play through 6 again, as terrible as it is. We'd have fun doing
no,
it.
because we tried to and we didn't even finish Leon's fucking campaign. It was so bad.
I know, but we're older now. We can tolerate it more. Hey, trust me, I tried. I tried soloing it. I'll talk about it in a bit. But yeah, that final sequence is fine. It's quite good. And then obviously Piers dies. He like sacrifices himself at the end for Chris. And then Chris learns the error of his ways because he starts off as a drunk or something, and he's just pissed off at life.
Well, so you would be after you've just fucking gone through Africa. And
yeah, exactly.
Fucking, you know what I mean?
The man's entitled. I don't get his little fringe in 6 though. It's a bit weird. So yeah, overall, I guess you could say Chris and Leon's campaign are equally as poor as each other.
Yeah.
For different reasons. And then you've got the cherry on the cake of Resident Evil 6. Oh my days. Sherry. From Resident Evil 2.
Birkin, yeah. That's
Rona.
it. Yeah. And was it Wesker's son?
Jake. Jake Wesker.
Jake Wesker. Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure he's called Jake.
Oh.
And it's like they thought, oh, we boo-booed by killing Wesker because we want to use Wesker, but he's dead. Like, and you can't bring him back because he fell into a volcano.
He got a fucking rocket. Well, I mean, to be fair, we go back on the footage. His head does disappear. Conspiracy theory.
But he does get super infected. He falls into a lake of lava. And then gets shot by 2 separate rockets in his head.
Yeah.
Think he's probably dead.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like they thought, oh, if only we could have another Wesker. Let's do his weird unknown son, Jake.
Because there was never any mention of him beforehand.
And we'll make him a good guy. All right then.
Yeah.
And let's make him look as bland as possible. Just bald white man.
Yeah.
It's shit. It is. There is
nothing. Hard talking about this.
There is nothing in the Sherry campaign that's good. Nothing.
Am I right in remembering that there's something that's chasing after her?
Yeah. There's
a
nemesis.
Is it a nemesis?
There's a nemesis. He's not a nemesis, but that's what they wanted.
Right. Because can you infect like machinery and stuff like that?
He had like a big metal claw hand.
I do, because I remember something that's like, it's in like a junkyard.
There's a horrible, horrible fight with him in like a...
it's in a junkyard, and I think that's with Chris. You've got Chris and Thingy.
You're all there.
It's one of the intersecting parts. Yeah, they're all there.
It's like, I think you've been on a plane and the plane crashes down, and then you end
up... original.
Well... I didn't mind that, actually. The plane sequence was okay, because you get another titty monster on the plane.
I don't remember the fucking... I don't remember.
Oh, okay. You remember the titty monster, though?
What monster?
The titty monster.
No. Yeah. Deborah titties.
No, not Deborah titties. The titty monster.
Is this a Resident Evil titty monster?
So, put in Resident Evil 6, and then I think the monster starts... I think the monster is actually called, like, Lepetitsa, or something like that, which is why I always called her the titty monster. But she's covered in loads of boobies everywhere, and she like spurts out this spore stuff. The Leon campaign. Leon campaign in the church.
Yeah. It is a titty monster.
Yeah, so you see the titty monster in Leon's campaign first in the church. And you fight her there. And I'm pretty sure on the plane, it might even be with Leon again. I don't know. You fight another one on a plane. Which is fine. It's a funny looking monster. It's not the best design they've ever made, but it's different.
Failed attempt to replicate Ada Wong.
Well, there you go. Titties everywhere explains it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Lepetitsa or something. Is that what the monster's called?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's Lepetita. It's spelled with a C, but the C is pronounced as a T.
Of course.
So Lepetita.
Of course. Yeah, so Sherry's campaign is tragic and terrible. The main boss man is that business suit.
I don't even remember who the fuck the main villain is.
I think
really don't.
I think it's different in each one, isn't it? I know the Leon one is that bloke in the business suit who turned into like a transforming werewolf dinosaur thing. It's a terrible game, man. It's like, for as much as we love 5 for the over-the-top action and the cheesiness and the campiness of it, it's like they just didn't get it with 6. They Michael Bay'd the shit out of it, and it's just fucking terrible.
They threw everything at the wall to see what would stick, and fuck all stuck.
Yeah.
It is how it is.
It's safe to say it's not going to make it on the slag.
No, God, no.
It's not even. I don't even know if it would get above Golden Axe if it were up to me, to be honest. I really don't like this game.
I'm on the same thing as you.
It's horrendous. What have we got? Okay.
Was the DLC for it, or did they just realize when they released it they were like, "No, this is fucking fun"?
I'm not sure if the Ada chapter was DLC. It might have been. There was definitely additions to the Mercenaries mode. The Mercenaries was okay in it. That's something we didn't talk about in any of the others. Just quickly, Resident Evil 4, I never really played the Mercenaries mode, but a lot of people do say it's quite good.
I played it.
I know you get to play as Hunk, who is one of the best characters. You get to play as that Krauser that everyone loves because he's got a big knife or something. That's not a knife. I can imagine it's probably pretty decent. I'm not huge on the Mercenaries mode anyway. I think it's fine. Just it's a good little time killer. I did play a lot of Resident Evil 5's Mercenaries mode because I like doing the first big fight sequence area. It's not village, is it? It's the square, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Where the agitator is. I used to love just going on that and seeing what score I could get. Playing with different characters and see what score I got.
Thanks. We did it with Barry and Excella.
Oh yeah. I have this. Yeah, and I just love doing that map. I thought that was a fun map to do Mercenaries mode on.
So there's the DLC for Resident Evil 6 doesn't add any story mode. It literally adds game modes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's nothing extra to the story.
Oh, they added a thing where you could jump into someone else's game as an infected monster.
I think it's an Onslaught they mentioned there. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the neat idea, I guess. But
my only thing I can remember liking of 6 is towards the end sequence where they. Well, yeah, it's sex giraffe.
Yeah.
Oh god, no! See towards the end when you get into the city and the gas goes off and you've got to make your way through the city.
Yeah.
And the gas is turning other people into infected. I like that bit.
Yeah, that's
because that was kind of suspenseful, but then you go into the whole sequence of crashing through the shopping center and fighting off the big giant fucking monster guy.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is. I just remember crashing through the glass and shit like that. And in my head, I was like, they'd have been fucking torn to shreds.
Yeah,
falling from that height through glass and stuff.
I know what you mean with that. I quite like the whole gassing out Tokyo or whatever it was. It did give a sense of like this is like an end of the world sort of.
Yeah.
This is like COVID, but like COVID actually was serious, like proper.
Yeah.
But then it just sort of kind of, I feel like it just gets forgotten about after a little while. Like, oh well.
And so you're on the bridge or whatever, and you've got, is it the jets or something are flying by? And
they just drop a vaccine or something on it. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's a shame. You know, it could have been something.
It's just such a missed opportunity. It's such a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And
I think we've talked about it enough because there's nothing we can say that's gonna make it.
I know, and like, just lastly on 6. Every time after I've had, like, I'm feeling it now. I feel like if I gave it another chance, it might be all right. There might be certain aspects of it I might like. So I'll probably play it at some point, like I did probably about a year ago now. I gave it another go and I went solo. But I got up to, I actually managed to get up to Jake and, what's her name? I've already forgotten her name. Sherry's campaign. But it got to a point where it was like forced stealth sequences. Resident Evil does not need stealth sequences. It's fucking terrible. It's an awful part of the game. And it was the point where I thought, no, I've had enough. I can't be arsed carrying on. I'm done. See you later. And I stopped playing it. But like I had slogged to get to that point as well, because there's so many parts that it's just a shit game. I don't think I've ever. Yeah,
it's boring. It's just long portions of boring game.
For something that's been Michael Bay'd to fuck. It's boring. It's proper boring.
I mean, to be fair, most Michael Bay films are boring. You just get distracted by all the action.
Yeah, I don't really watch Michael Bay films, to be honest, and that's probably why.
I mean, Transformers is case in point. Coming from like the fucking biggest Transformers fan going.
Oh, God, Michael Bay's killed me.
Right.
On that note, then,
let's round them up.
So we just give a score. Mm-hmm. It's obvious there's only one that's going to make it onto the slag.
Yes.
So we'll pick a score for 6. What score does 6 get? And it will
What score does 6 get?
I think regardless of score for 6 and 4, 5 will be the one that goes on the slag, won't it?
Oh, God, yeah, 100%. But I mean, 6, I am giving it a generous 4.
I was also thinking 4. I was thinking
that's perfect.
And it's still a game. It still looks good in certain parts. I like the start and the end of Leon and Chris's campaigns, respectively. Mm-hmm. But apart from that, the game is trash.
I mean, it's a good thing as well. It's a good-looking game as well. Actually,
it still is. They completely messed up. It was the first time they totally messed up a Resident Evil game. Wasn't the last time, but this is the worst culprit. Because it's a mainline game. It's the only mainline game that's shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Right.
So that would put it at 14th at the minute.
There you go. Yeah.
Just above Golden Axe. Resident Evil 4.
I generally can't give it more than 5.5.
Whoa!
I just have no love for that game whatsoever.
5.5.
Yeah.
Oh my days.
Yeah.
That goes according to Nick Finnegan, that goes 14th above Resident Evil 6. Underneath
you still got your score to put on though. You still got to put yours on. So
okay. I would.
And don't overcompensate.
I would go 8.5. Yeah, 8.5. It's still a great video game.
Right, 700,000.
Really?
So 700,000.
Okay, so that would put it equal with ISS, Mortal Kombat, and NBA Jam.
I'd play them over Resident Evil 4. I'd have more fun.
Yeah, I'd have to disagree. I'd still play Resident Evil 4 over them. But Resident Evil 5, the funnerest one of the 3.
The funnerest one. Now, can't give it a 10. I'll give it 925,000.
Ooh, I
love that game.
It is phenomenal.
I love that game. It's phenomenal. Mate, our friendship is like born and based on Fallout, to be fair. But this was like, see when we finished and we're like, see you online. Yes. And we'd get home and we were like literally like, mate, just absolute dick about on this. And it was phenomenal. So much fun. So I can't. Yes, the first DLC doesn't need it. The second DLC, it's a lovely challenge, but you don't need it. But yeah, I can't. There's not many things that I can generally fault with this when playing with you.
Yeah, it was fun. For the co-op, I would agree with you. I probably could go as high as 9.25, 925,000. But because it's got the single player as well, where it's not as fun without your partner, I will say 875,000 overall. Because it is basically the thing that bonded us to begin with, wasn't it? It's
100,000
on the dot.
on the dot.
And that's probably fair. Fourth place. Underneath GoldenEye, Doom, and Remake. Above Pokemon, Super Metroid. Oh, it's above Pokemon and Super Metroid. Ooh. It still is.
The thing is, though, to me, see that top portion of the board, I would be happy to play any of those. Any of those any day of the week.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and these is, you know, we're scoring these like based on now. Do you know what I mean? We could change it in a year's time, and you know, everything's subject to change. The card isn't final, as they say in wrestling. You know, so it's.
At the end of the day, the main reason I think Resident Evil 5 gets special treatment from us is because it's special to us. Like,
yeah,
if
that experience is what makes us want this. This is why we've given this game this amount of points. Is because it means something to us.
If we didn't ever meet each other, if we didn't know each other, we'd have still like enjoyed Resident Evil 5 for what it was.
I still enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, I played it before I met you. You know what I mean? Like, I was living in Ireland, and Steph was in first year of uni when we were together, and she would play it with our friend Dan when they finished, and we had a competition if those two can complete it before me.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, I already played it and everything like that. Do you know what I mean? And I loved it before we played it, but we playing it cemented it as like one of my favorite games.
It's it's a special game. For us, it is a special game.
For us.
And that's where some people need to chill out. If they're like, how could you give it such a high score? Oh my god. Chill out. We love it. We're entitled to love this game.
Yep.
And we're entitled to say it's better than 4.
Mm-hmm. And what do I always say? Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one. Doesn't mean you've got to agree with it.
No.
You know? So that's it.
Some of them do stink of shit as well.
Oh, we've got some spicy ones.
Oh. Is that the end of Resident Evil now? There's no point in us talking 7 or 8.
Well, I've not even started 8. I bought 8 when it came out, and when I got a PS5, and I've still not played it. So don't get me wrong. Like, we can do a quick one. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed 7.
Yeah, 7's good. 7's fine.
It's good. I know 8's not. It's apparently not as good as 7. But apart from big titty lady, they love their big titty ladies, don't they?
Man, it's Japanese, yeah. The Japanese love the big titties, man.
Oh, that's it. I'm going to go now. I need to play Resident Evil 8. So,
see all the titty monsters. I think if there is possibly a Volume 3 in the future,
there will be in the future.
We'll handpick some of the obscure games, because there's some decent obscure games and there's some shit ones.
That'll be all on you then.
Okay, I'll figure it out. I'll make sure it's all ones that we can play or have played.
Yeah.
But we need to decide next week. Is there anything that you fancy? Because my randomizer's so out of date.
I mean, depends on how much time you've got to play something or other.
Please don't make me play Zelda.
No, we'll leave that to the randomizer. I genuinely have no idea. No idea what we can talk about. We can
I know. I need
fire something.
I need people. I need people to give me suggestions and stuff.
Oh, I know. I mean, to be honest, if it was up to me, like I'd talk about all my favorite games, and it's not fair because we would need to be impartial.
What if you reel off now some of your favorite games that we might not have talked about, and then if it's something I can jump on at some point?
Well, to be honest, you can actually. There is one next you can jump quite easily on.
Okay.
That's Star Fox.
You mean that?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, I can do that.
That's the one. So we've got Star Fox and then we've got 64.
Okay.
So we've got the two games.
Is that what you want to do, the two of them?
Well, yes, they go kind of hand in hand with each other. Because 64 is technically just a remake of Star Fox.
Okay.
So plus a bit more. But I mean, you can do the SNES one first.
Yeah.
And then go on the 64 one.
I can do that. I hope.
Yeah.
I'll try and find the time.
They're not big. They're not long. Okay. You can do the first Star Fox in like 40 minutes. It's on the Switch as well.
Is it? On the Switch Online thing?
Yes.
I will.
64. I think 64's on there as well.
I'm not.
But obviously, I'm not proud of that. Just retro market. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get it on with good controls. I might give the first one a play tonight then, just before going to sleep.
Now that we spoke about it, I am literally going to go sit next to Steph and play it.
Okay then, sounds good.
Yeah.
Next week, Star Fox and Star Fox 64.
There we go.
Never played it, but I'll play it for just for you, best pal.
Okay, that's fine.
Excellent.
Right.
Cheers, bro.
Thanks everyone for watching. You're all right anytime. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Till next time, get following, get subscribing. Retro Gak Attack, baby.